Now in this video we're gonna speak about the essence of tarot. What is the most important thing you have to understand about tarot? The most important thing is those two cards. Those two cards. You can take any tarot deck. The idea of deck of tarot is same in all the decks. Just this particular deck, Sri Krishna's tarot deck, is gonna give you everything straightforward. The other decks are super coded, super hidden meanings behind it, so it'll take you years to figure it out. But here it is. So the number 0 card. What does the Fool card represent? It represents the soul. It represents the soul who's absolutely bewildered in this material world, and he thinks he's the body, and he thinks this world is real, and he is trying to explore it, exploit it, enjoy it. And usually the Fool is picked being on the top of the cliff, just about to fall. So that means that everything what you do in this world is coming to an end. But the Fool don't care about it. Fools, like, they don't see the imminent disaster that's waiting for all the material activities just around the corner, just a matter of time. So that's why it's called the Fool. In this deck specifically, I draw out the idea of the soul based on Vedic conception. Like, the soul has a form. Soul is in our body, and this body is like a machine, and this body is operating by the power of soul. So what does the soul do? The soul is interacting, yes, but he is completely aloof in terms of, like, it's like being in a video game, really, in reality. Like, you experience everything emotionally, the tragedy, or the happiness, or the win, or the loss. You experience it emotionally, but you're not actually in the game. You're like outside the game, but the emotional experience is real. So our situation is very similar. Soul experiences emotionally, but is not actually in a material world in terms of, like, being part of it. He's alien to it, just like we are not part of TV, but we experience whatever information coming from TV to be real. So that's the soul card. And this deck, the rest of the card is like the universe. So the soul enters the universe and is trying to explore it and really looking for what's the goal, what's the point, what is the big game, why am I here? So the Vedic knowledge, the Vedas, they say that the human birth will be successful when you're going to ask this question: who am I, what is this world, and what is my goal? Those 3 questions will actually make you on the standard of human being. Before if you don't ask these questions, you are just the same than any other animal. If you ask those 3 questions, now your intellect actually has reached to the level that is beyond the impulses of the senses. Otherwise, you just roll on with the senses. 5 senses trying to gratify the mind. So you just press the buttons, 5 different buttons, on and on and on and on. So this is the situation of the soul. And now, what is it looking for? There is another card, it's called number 20 card. Number 20 is usually the judgment card. But in this day, it's called New Age. So it is the exit card. This is what the soul is looking for. This is the breakthrough card. This is when you go to the next level. And ultimately, this is the card when the soul is exit material world. When the soul leaves material world. This is the card. Those 2 together will make the idea of tarot. Exploring material world and ultimately finding the exit and leaving material world. So it goes step by step, many levels, many different steps on the way, but this is how it works. That's how it kind of operates, yes. And now another vital card to know is the death card. That's what everyone is so afraid of. The death card really gives you an idea of the truth of the material world, that everything comes to an end because it has a time factor on, and it also gives you an idea of reincarnation, therefore connected directly to the new age, and specifically connected directly towards the soul. Meaning the soul don't die, but the body dies. The body always dies. Everything in the material world dies except the soul. Soul is immortal, and so is this card, which represents the spiritual world, ultimately at the center of the spiritual world, but coming to the material place is like going step up, or closer towards the solution, the thing that will actually satisfy the soul, that will bring happiness to the soul, not the mind and senses. So it gives you an idea how to reach the soul, how to understand that you are the soul, and then what you're supposed to do about it. What's the goal of the soul? What the soul's supposed to do? One thing is to know I am the soul, and one thing is to know that the reincarnation is there. So if you know these things, then what is that you're going to do? If you know tomorrow your whole life is going to collapse and there is nothing left in this world, everything is taken away, just like the situation it is at the moment in the world, like no one knows what's going to happen. We are in this situation all the time. People just don't realize, because it is so entertaining externally that they think it's going to go on forever. But no, any moment what's going on now, it can happen. So the death card indicates that. So if it comes out in everyday readings, it indicates some end that is painful, that is some end that is emotional tragedy. However, next card is a rebirth, so you're born into the new world, and usually it's needed. The death card is needed so you can go to the next level, and ultimately reincarnation is inevitable. So if you accept it or don't, that's up to you. But if you accept it and you know about it, those who are very intelligent can directly point out and start preparing for the next landing, where they want to land in their next life. Instead of, just like now, you're trying to, like, let's say, I want to go to Bahamas. So you're making a plan. I want to leave this place where I'm at now. I want to go to Bahamas. So in the same way, the soul can plan in the next life where I want to be, what I have to do to go there. In this world, it's easy. Bahamas, you get a ticket, you get a bookings, and you go. So it's a process, knowing the place, getting everything together and going there. Same way, if you see the big picture, many lives waiting for you ahead, so you can make a plan, at least for the next life, where you want to be. So this is the Vedic knowledge. This is a complete understanding of the soul, journey of the soul, ability to project your soul, like make a plan for the next life, and an ultimate end where the soul wants to be, and having full clear understanding of it, and then acting on it. Not just understanding itself, it's just a knowledge. It can be just a piece of paper or digital information. If you don't put it into use, what's the use of it? Nothing, zero. I mean, intellectually it will kind of play back in your head, and at some point it will force you to use it. So knowledge itself is good, but it will only, like, you have to cash in the check. Like, you might have the check, but as like you can't buy anything with it unless you cash it in. Then you can consume what you want, you can buy what you want, you can actualize the knowledge. Yes. So in the same way, this is the idea. So these cards are vital to understand what is going on in tarot. Immortality, soul is always immortal. This is another card for immortality, immortal world. And also this card indicates the Godhead in your heart, the goal, the spiritual world again. And yeah, the new age for the soul. The new age is internal, it's not so much external. Always there will be external environment, will be always changing. There will be always forces of good and evil trying to dominate it and play the game in this world with it. But the soul itself, it's a personal journey. It's a personal relationship, and this is 100% internal. So you have to know this, and a tarot deck is like a mirror that reflects that internal experience, and it's like a map. It guides you, and it will give you instant faith because it works. You'll see. You want to predict future, you'll see what is the potential flow of events, right? You can change it, it's not fixed always, sometimes it is, but not always, so you can rearrange whatever you're doing to get a better outcome. That's one of the ways tarot is used many times to see how the material energy unfolds and what's the best thing to do in the middle of all that. So you have a tip of information. And most of it is also, most of the reading, it's about the present, understanding the present with more clarity, being more sure about yourself, and therefore acting on it, whatever you want to do. Okay, so here is the essence of the tarot, the vital pillar in the center, and now we're gonna explore the whole deck gradually, going through it all. Alright, take care, ciao.